Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ruud de Groot and today I'm doing a presentation about the book Exploring Strategic Change. I will be discussing and explaining chapter 2, 3 and 4. I hope you all can see the presentation that I've made. I will also upload it to NetSchool and I hope you can see me as well and hear me as well. So first of all, I'm going to start with the index. So we'll start off with chapter 2, which is divided into the different dimensions of the change paths and the change paths themselves. So we'll discuss 2 dimensions and 4 different change paths. And then we'll go to chapter 3, which is implementation choices. Here we'll discuss the different starting points, change styles, change targets and levers, and so on. Then in chapter 4, we will start discussing and analyzing contextual features, because these are very important during changes, because changes are context sensitive. And after that, I will finish off with the end. And I hope the presentation, or I expect the presentation to be around 15 minutes. So starting off, the change path is the most fundamental part of all choices. So that's why we start with the change path. There are 2 different dimensions of change. One is the end result. So what do you want to accomplish with the change? And the other one is the nature of change. Now we will discuss these later on, or now. The first one is the end result dimension. So as you can see, transformation, so the end result is transformation, is a fundamental shift in the business model, goals, mission and procedures. So if you really change the business model, the goal, the mission, the vision of a company, you will fundamentally change the company, what it is and how it's characterized. And when the end result is not transformation but realigning the company, you change the way of doing things. So you don't really fundamentally change the company, but you change a certain aspect or the way things are done. Now, moving on to the second dimension, which is the nature of change. And as you can see, the nature of change is about the time. So how much time do you have to change? And the nature is very important, because the nature of the change can determine how much time you have. So as you can see, you have incremental change, which is change phased over time. So you have a longer period of time to change things. And you have a big bang nature of change, which is a fast change all at once. So a fast change or big bang change can be when the competition has introduced a new product which you can't compete with. So you really have to change the whole company all at once in order to keep up with the competition. So here you can see the 4 change paths, and these have to do, or these follow from the different dimensions. So as you can see, here's the nature of the change and here is the end result of the change, as explained earlier. And you can see that there's evolution, adaptation, revolution and reconstruction. So as we discussed, incremental, big bang, transformation and realignment. So I will now discuss these 4 different change paths. As you can see, adaptation is incremental realignment. So as I explained, incremental means that you have the time, so you can phase it, and realignment is changing part of the business or the way of doing things. So here's an explanation. A less fundamental change implemented slowly through staged initiatives. Now, going on to the next one, reconstruction. Reconstruction is a big bang realignment. So big bang means you don't have as much time as an incremental realignment as with the adaptation, but you have to do it all at once. So here's the explanation. Realign the company in a more dramatic manner, often forced by competitive context. So when you have to, you'll see this again and again. When the company has to change fast, it's often because of the competition or because of external factors. Now, moving onwards, we have evolution. Evolution is the incremental transformation. So, as I explained earlier, transformation is really changing the whole company, the business model, the mission, the goal, a real fundamental change. And incremental is phased over time. So, here you can see the explanation. Transformative change implemented gradually through different stages and interrelated initiatives. Proactive change undertaken in response to anticipation of the need for future change. So this is an example. Oftentimes incremental transformation is a company that sees it has to change towards the future. So they prepare themselves for the future, and because they anticipate towards the future, they can incrementally do this and face this over time. Because transformation usually is because of competition and stuff. Oftentimes transformation is in big bang. It is in a big bang time frame because they need to adapt fast. So a incremental transformation is oftentimes due to the company itself to anticipate towards the future. Now, going onward, we see revolution. Revolution is a big bang transformation, so a transformation in a shorter time frame. And here's the explanation. Simultaneous initiatives on many fronts, often in a relatively short time period, more likely to be forced and reactive due to changing competitive conditions. So, as I explained, you can here see the difference between big bang and incremental. Incremental is often because the organization prefers to change itself in order to prepare for the future, and big bang is oftentimes caused by competition. So, the change path is the entire change. So sometimes there are different phases in a change path. So, for example, there is the reconstruction phase followed by evolution. Well, reconstruction, so reconfiguring the business, create a desire and commitment towards change, enabling realignment phase, often reconstruction or adaptation. So, what this explains is that a reconstruction phase enables a company to enter the evolution stage. So reconstruction can be adapting a part of the organization or improving a part of a organization, and then afterwards you follow it up with an evolution and you make sure that you change the company in a way that the improvements that you made will stick into the business model and into the future. I had a small pop-up, sorry for that. My laptop oftentimes does that, so I hope it doesn't do it again. And evolution, creating and embedding cultural change. So here you can see both explained. So the first one is about creating or enabling the company for the embedding of the cultural change. So you see preparation and establishing. So here's the next chapter, which is about implementation choices. This is chapter 3. So we had chapter 2, and now we are moving to chapter 3. So as you can see, there are 5 remaining choices that you have during the implementation of change. Sorry, I'm just going to check if I have enough battery.